Right, everyone. Just doing a little video. The noise in the background is my condenser because I'm having a bit of a wheezy day today. You know, not every day's a good day. Today's a bit of a wheezy day. So I want to speak about coping strategies, good and bad days. So I can have good days. I can have challenging days. You know, sometimes my breathing will fluctuate between the days. Like early on, I was fine. You know, I was doing what I had to do, running around, getting a bit of shopping, just everyday things, going to the shops, driving about, fine. I went out, got something to eat, come back. I was eating, and sometimes when I eat, I don't know if this is a thing with COPD, but sometimes when I eat and I get a bit full, my breathing's a bit iffy. So I thought I'd kind of do a quick video um, to speak about, you know, good days and challenging days, and also exercise, which is a sort of sticking point for me because if you don't use it, you lose it. So with COPD, it's a vicious circle. You don't feel like exercising because you're breathless, but if you don't exercise, you become more breathless. So to to remedy that is to do exercise. Now, with me personally, the thought of exercising, and I'm not talking about rigorous exercise here. I'm just talking about walking or going on the treadmill indoors or going for a walk down the seafront or, well, it's a bit cold for the seafront. It freeze your rocks off. But, just a little walk, whatever. So with me, the thought of going for a walk is like, I can't really be bothered. I feel a bit breathless. I don't fancy it. But once I do, you know, get out there or get encouraged to go for a walk, after that, I feel right. I was like, "Ah, it was good. I feel good." But just thinking about it, it's not the one. So exercise is key. I spoke about oxygen therapy. I spoke about medications, asthma pumps, dilators like this. This is a this is a bronchulator. I think that's the right word. If it's not, I don't care. It's Trixio. I don't know. It's what medication. I don't know if it does any good. Um, because I think once your lungs get to a certain point, an asthma pump, is it really gonna? It might relieve. It might help open your airways a little bit, but it's okay. But what I do find it helpful, but you can't do it all the time. I'll just show you. Uh, This is a contentious nebulizer. So what you do with this nebulizer, and this helps not all the time because you don't need to be on the nebulizer all the time, and it needs to make sure it's clean and it's hygienic because it can be tricky. You have to, like, what I do, I steam it or use boiling water to flush it and to clean all the pipes. But yeah, this is a nebulizer. I can't show you the thing because it's plugged in, but basically it's just you turn it on and off, and it pumps air through the tube. And what you do, you take this off and you put your saline solution in, liquid, and or both salbutamol. So what I usually do is, if I'm struggling, I might do it later on. I put a salbutamol in here, saline. Let me see if I can find. Oh, look. So basically, it's these little things. Saline, just saline, simple solution, 0.9. And then we've got where's the other one? We've got there it is, look. And we've got this one as well. So you put one of them and one of these. There you go. Solutions in 15 minutes. Bosh. It helps with inflammation, and I get wheezy, so it just clears it a little bit. Sometimes if it gets really bad and you have an exacerbation, which is a flare up of COPD symptoms, you can use steroids, which are 6 to 8 tablets each day. Take them early in the morning or in the morning, because the later you take them, the more weirder your sleep pattern is, you have real vivid mad dreams. So yeah, it's crazy. And that helps, steroids help. Um, if it's really like that's the last resort basically. But yeah, good days, challenging days. You know, today it's been a game of two halves, really. I was all right earlier, now I'm a bit, but I feel a bit more calm now. I've put the oxygen on. Maybe I'll be able to take it off now because I feel a bit more settled. I don't want to overdo it. So let me just take this off because this is the condenser indoors I spoke about. One sec. There you go. It sounds like a massive generator, but it's just a oxygen breathing machine. But yeah, it can fluctuate. It's such an unpredictable illness. It's so unpredictable because some days you might make plans to do something and you think, yeah, I'll be able to do that, and then you can't. You can't do it because you're not well enough to do it. So that's why I say keep it in a day, one day at a time. It's difficult, but I try to just get on with it and do the best I can. You know, I do moan a lot. Um, I do moan a lot. I'm like, but I think it's more born out of frustration and agitation, really. That I can't do what I really want to do because of this COPD. But it can be a blessing in a way, in a sense of looking after yourself, um, making sure you eat the right things. I try to eat my diet. I try to eat fresh food, and try and stay away from processed foods. I try to have, try to live well. Um, I get stressed out a lot. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, I don't get stressed out. I get stressed out. I get really stressed out. I get really agitated sometimes. And I'm working on myself. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm a teetotal. I've been sober for over 13 years. Um, yeah, like that's drinking drugs. So yeah, I don't do, I try and live as a clean life as possible. But what I do suffer with on the flip side of that, because obviously I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm a teetotal, my emotions sometimes are all over the place. And I get stressed, the psychological impacts of this illness, born out of frustration and agitation, when things don't go right, you know, I'm very intense. And it does get stressful sometimes because I haven't got a crutch. I can't. Oh well, I'm just going to have a spliff. I'm just going to have a drink. I don't do any of that, so I have to deal with things head on, which can be difficult sometimes. But I've got coping strategies in place for that as well. And I'll speak about mental well-being. My mental well-being is okay sometimes, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's very much not. And I have to really reflect on my behaviour, my actions, what I do, be accountable and responsible for my behaviour. And sometimes it's off key, and sometimes it's not. But I work every day. I journal, I write down, you know, things about what I could have done better in the day, what my assets, the positives. So COPD is not just a physical illness. It's an illness of, it's a lifestyle. It affects your physical health, it affects your family, it affects your mental health, it affects everything. So I think I've done enough rambling for today. It's New Year's Eve as I film today. So I hope everyone has a happy new year. Have a good New Year's Eve. Don't go too crazy out there on New Year's Eve. I'm just going to have a chilled one. I'm just going to take it easy, relax, and try and breathe, uh, and just take it easy. So Happy New Year, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.